All right, Quantum Break. Last we left off, we used a time machine. We were back in 2010, and I think we were coming up pretty close to a TV episode, so we'll see if we make it there. That was the very last thing we did. This name is lame, and Ludefex left a message to future me to read the lore item that's directly in front of me, so we'll try to do that first. See ya, Turnus. Yeah, I'm pumped for Banjo-Kazooie, too. Thanks again for Lisa. Get you around. Andrea's up there munching on salmiakki. Got our Blue Apron shipment in today. We thought it was going to be delayed by another day. I know it's like comical the number of online resources that push Blue Apron because they've been paid to do so, but like these shippable ingredient services are actually kind of rad. Recommend trying one if you haven't already.
And there was a weight in her eyes. She was hiding something.
I think this is the one I need to read.
What exactly
Beth's
do you
journal.
believe changed in Beth?
She lost hope.
Beth has been back here changing things all along, right? All throughout history. She went back and talked to the child version of herself, I think it was. Jack and I kidnapped Dr. Emerald. There's like a slight sound of dripping in the background, and I thought it was in the house. It's in the game. Just the date of the last moment. Yeah, it's like we had just sent her back barely to 2010, and she ended up like going in this crazy time loop with her child self, right? A long time trying to fix William's machine, but somebody beat me to it. He said, of course, the earliest time the machine could operate, the first time the core was activated. February 28th, 1999. So I found William still alive, much younger than I had ever seen him, and warned him about the fracture. I told him he was the only one who could create a solution. He begged me not to tell him anything else about the future. As far as like cool time travel fiction goes, this game's pretty rad. I'm kind of bummed that it didn't do that well. Worked with Will to get the time machine moved. Make sure Shireen wouldn't be able to use it to his advantage, so we moved to the one place he knew would be safe, the swimming pool. Will spent a big chunk of the research grant. Okay, that's how they have this giant property. The countermeasure, the MacGuffin. Second chance at having a killer Y2K party. It's her running into a young version of herself. That's interesting. So this game is kind of Bill and Ted Rules in that it's all time loop based. So since as a child she already talked to adult her, she now has to fulfill what she saw as a child. But it looks like she actually has to do it. She can't just declare that it happens and then it happens. If that makes sense. I think Bill and Ted is my favorite time travel rules. It's really stupid, but like makes sense. We'll do it after the report. There's Buffy reruns. Nice. September 11th, I tried to stop it again. I warned them, told them exactly what was going to happen. Stop the rise of Monarch. They have a throwaway line about that where they're like, but Bill, remember, after the report we have to go back or this won't happen. And he's like, but it did happen. It was you who stole my dad's keys. Spotted me here at Williams' workshop. I wonder, like, the volume of text and lore documents in this game, which is this very urgent pace, I wonder if a lot of this was meant to be, like, if the game was meant to have a bigger scope and some of these were meant to be scenes. Like, I can see a whole sequence where you, like, play as Beth and do all of these things, and they're like, shit, we have to fit this into a long text document. because it's super cool. And the game feels complete. It doesn't feel like it's obviously missing anything, but... Younger Paul, scared, weak, and vulnerable, found me, trying to convince me that we needed to work together to help each other through. He found out very quickly that I wanted him dead. I see. He still had powers. At the end of the world, the only two people left, and we became sworn enemies. Whoa, that's pretty rad. Beth and Littlefinger. Yeah, because I guess Littlefinger has also probably gone back to his childhood at some point. He at least went far enough back that he used knowledge of the future to build an empire and get super rich, right? Go kill him at the end of time. 2021. The end of time, where there's a dude with a hat and a guy that looks like a chicken. 5 years until the countermeasure will be complete. I spend most of my days training. I don't know what happens once the device is finished. Being prepared is my specialty. Tried poetry, got depressed, dabbled with the guitar, smashed it against the wall. Graffiti is, right? Yeah, we see she's got drawings all over the game. You know it, prop, exactly. Started watching Jack recently. No monarch is tracking him, so I keep my distance. Watch this band play a gig. Atrociously bad, whiny emo music. Definitely a music movement I didn't need to live through a second time. There's some, like, emo-adjacent music that's pretty good. Like, I guess people have said Coheed and Cambria is, like, technically emo, even though to me it's just, like, the sequel to Rush. And I guess I can see that. Just want to believe without question I could stop the fracture. And I painted something at the university campus. I love how the journal... Well, no, is it in chronological order? I guess it is. Alright, never mind. I thought it was jumping around. It just mentioned 2010 and 2021. Fucking time travel. Yeah. Emo lost all meaning pretty quickly, right? My sister was super into My Chemical Romance, which I think is like the archetypical emo band. I don't know if that's fair. Maybe it's not. Maybe they're like, oh, that's a really poppy band to pick to describe emo. They put out some bangers, I think. That Ghost of You song jams. Everything I've done has been for nothing. July 4th, 2010, final entry. The day is here. Someone received word that William has completed the countermeasure. I'm sure of it. Alright, and we just got to 2010, so that's her final entry. Let's see where she is. Legit love MCR, don't at me. It's such a goofy thing to say, like...
11 years.
I started by, like, adopting a lot of, like, Gen Z slang, or modern millennial slang, ironically, and then kind of enjoying it because it's funny. goofy way of saying this is not up for debate.
I'll unlock the door.
Yay!
So where's Will? Where's the countermeasure?
Yeah, about that.
The countermeasure's at William's workshop, where he built it.
Then that's where we go.
Yes. That was the plan.
I often don't use it to mean this isn't up to
Just have to
debate.
unlock this.
I'm actually welcoming debate in a lot of cases. I just think it's a funny way to feel like.
My supplies
I
are
feel this
upstairs.
very strongly,
We'll need to get them.
and you're wrong.
There's so much you don't know, that you never saw. I gave up on the idea that you would ever come.
I need to know we're still in this together.
I told you once our fate is already laid out for us. I still believe that. More than ever.
I feel like she would know.
I'm just worried what that might mean.
It means we finish this.
That's not helpful.
You need gear? Take whatever you need. The rest of it's going in the river. Along with everything else I brought here.
SSG.
That's a little drastic.
Just a little bit.
My time here is done, Jack. I have to erase my presence. Let me know when you're ready to go.
Alright. I think the carbine rifle is pretty good, right? Maybe. Okay, you like any of the guns in the game? Here's all of them. It makes sense that she would be collecting all of them. I think that's kind of cool.
You followed Paul to 1999.
Rise of Monarch whiteboard.
Why did he travel so far back?
To form Monarch. Prepare for what's coming.
You kept tabs on him.
And he's kept tabs on me.
Martin Hatch is Lance Reddick?
Ready when you are,
Or
Jack.
no? Okay. Just trying to
I
remember.
can't imagine what happened to you. When you entered that machine, I wanted to go after you, but I didn't know where Sophia sent you or how to find you.
You made it here. It's all
I think the
that
carbine
matters.
rifle is actually a shotgun. Semi-auto
You followed the
shotgun.
plan.
Whatever happened to you, change it.
Don't.
We can fix this.
Don't.
We can undo this.
You still don't get it. It can't be changed. No matter what we do, the pieces fall in all of the exact same places. I've tried. Over and over.
It's a time loop.
I can't just sit back and do nothing.
You have to let go. Jack. You have to let go. I've seen it. The end of time. That is where she sent me. I was there. I've been fighting this fight my entire life, and I saw us fail. I saw where this leads.
So is she like way older?
I just don't know anymore.
I can't tell from her character model.
I don't know if we can win this thing.
Yeah. Right, because you went back to 99. It's been around since like 2010. Bourne's pretty accurate. The only movie I've noticed, I mean, I know nothing about guns, but the only movie where I felt like the creators probably paid attention to it was John Wick in John Wick 2. I love that he has to reload. Shit's great. I've seen those videos of Keanu Reeves practicing for it.
I don't know a fraction of the hell that Beth went through, what she experienced when she saw the end of time, how that changed her like it changed Paul. Followed by 11 years of living like a ghost.
899. Alright.
Beth I'd known had laser focus. This Beth.
So she's like 34. Okay.
She had doubts.
It might have been interesting to have her loop a couple times or something. We're like surprised that she has doubts. Of course she does.
The one thing that could set things right was waiting for us at Will's workshop.
Well, I guess this is another thing that's sort of an issue.
There it is.
With focusing a lot of the cool lore into the... I think we've talked about this in previous sessions, but by putting all the cool lore in the readable stuff and the audio logs, like, it seems like the characters aren't aware of the fact that those logs exist and that we've read them. Because I guess they wanted to make a story that doesn't depend on having you interacted with them. It's like after you read that journal, you should be totally on board with her being hopeless, you know?
In 2010, Monarch didn't own the area yet. That came shortly after because of what happened with you. But we knew William was building something new in his workshop, and we knew it must be important. We were
This game has the same
monitoring
framing
place.
devices.
Yeah, Beth knew about your presence. She'd done spying on her own. We came over the rooftops to avoid detection.
Does Will know we're coming?
Mm-hmm.
No,
It's like a different kind of
doesn't.
dissonance from ludonarrative dissonance, too. Because it's like, it's intra-narrative, and it's a gaming unique dissonance problem. You wouldn't have that in film. It's by, like, giving the player agency of what they're allowed to learn.
Whoops. Sorry.
From this point on, we may be in their sights. We need to be quick.
Well, dramatic irony is when you intentionally show the audience something that the characters aren't familiar with, and then you play up the fact that the audience knows something. So, like, horror movies are built on dramatic irony, that you know that there's something behind the door and the character doesn't, and you feel freaked out because they're about to go through it. The phenomenon I'm talking about, though, is in a video game where you're allowed to consume information that you don't have to consume, right? But the information is still planted on in a specific place in the narrative, and then the narrative progresses even though both you, the player, and the character should know the information because the character read the document or listened to the audio log. But then as the cutscenes progress, the character never refers to what they heard in the audio log or what they read in the document. So not only is it that you know something that the character doesn't, it's you know something that the character should know and doesn't.
Hey.
So I guess it's like an
Will?
extra level
He's
of
not
that.
here. I made sure of that,
What? Why? He's the only one that knows how to use the countermeasure.
which is why he needs to be kept safe, in case things go bad.
Fine. We get the device, then you lead me to my brother.
Sure.
This isn't end well.
Where do we find this thing?
Will said he secured it inside a safe. Somewhere in the building.
All right, Will. Where'd you hide that safe? 11 years. Building this thing was his life for 11 years.
Yeah.
So it's like your choice is either to never put interesting information in optional lore objects that would impact the player's life, or to force you to read those and not make any of it optional.
1999. It's been about a month since the incident. Since I was shot by the man from the future. Since Wilder. I've moved the machine. Hidden it. I wish I could destroy it, but I made it tell me as little as possible. The more you know about what'll happen, the worse it'll be. We're all puppets. I can take that for as long as I can't tell the difference. I think she understood. Doesn't matter anyway. She told me the fracture is gonna happen because of what I did. I have to fix it. I have to.
You're on an oscilloscope.
I don't know how yet. I have to build a countermeasure of some kind. I know the theoretical mechanism of the field's collapse, but how to stop it? let alone reverse it. It'll take years of research. I have no idea how to do this. How to pay for it. I don't know. Wilder's from the future. And she came to me. I have to assume.
You should have asked her for, like,
right?
who won the Super Bowl in a certain year.
Why else would she come to me?
I guess there's a way to make sure that he has, you know, fewer resources than
planning on doing
Littlefinger
it to you.
does.
And it was stolen before he ever had the chance. Which means this is the only way it can play out.
That's right. Point is that it
Hey,
was
River
stolen.
Boy. I'm pretty sure you folks are having a better time than I am. While I'm still stuck in the studio just a little while longer. Whereas all of you folks are out there enjoying what I hope are spectacular 4th of July parties. So set up some fireworks,
There's
eat
some
a little
things
too
you need
much,
to eat.
drink until every joke you
You're the
hear is
only
funny,
one who
and
wants to
spend some
stop.
time with your loved ones.
There's no theoretical groundwork. It could take
This country ain't perfect.
even years to
Pretty
build.
damn good,
And it
sure
will.
is worth celebrating.
You'll have to keep it a secret.
Myself. I can't wait to get home, crack open a beer or 3, and kick back with the people I love most. We're gonna appreciate that.
You'd been there before. Witnessed flashes through time. I assume pieces of that puzzle had come together since.
And some are yet to come.
Hello.
Let's see here.
It was all there on the board. The details of his downward spiral.
Call Jack on his
His work
birthday.
consumed him.
Apologize for not
Became
calling.
some kind of desperate obsession. He was never the same.
It's cool. I really like art objects like that. Shower. Apologize to Jack again. Get electricity back on. Buy groceries. Meet with bank for loan. Shower first.
The device wasn't there, but it must have been at one time. The power setup wasn't working, but it must have worked at some point.
Maybe I can rewind time to get this working.
Follow the cable.
Door's locked. Knowing Will, that's where the
Shit,
safe is.
shit. Locked out again.
Find a way in.
Where was the failsafe switch? Follow the wire. Which one was it? Blue? Or was that the emergency shutdown? Oh, shit. I knew I should have labeled the wiring.
Should be yellow, right? So I was just tracking. Right?
Open sesame.
Emergency shutdown initiated.
Shit, ass. Fucking goddamn it. Yellow wire, I knew it.
Okay.
I built a goddamn time machine, but I can't remember to keep a piece of shit door unlocked.
Thanks for talking to yourself, man. It's helped me out.
There we go.
Wait. Doesn't last very long once it triggers. I might still have to press the switch over here after watching that scene. Maybe? Alright, so I can make this thing go. And I can get over there pretty quickly. And then I interact with it and it disappears. Okay, I might have it. Got it. Got it. Got it.
Come take a look at this. He didn't leave the code, but I can crack it. I just need some time to...
Somebody's here.
It's Monarch.
You need time, but there's no time.
I knew they'd find us.
I'll take care of it. Just get that safe open, stay inside.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's an interesting question. I guess the
You'd
door
been
was
spotted the moment you
predestined to
arrived.
have been opened.
You never had a chance. You
In
were
that
on a
way?
suicide mission.
As long as
Yeah.
it's a loop, it's fine.
I wasn't gonna lie down and just give up without a fight. Not then, not ever.
This is Trojan 1 approaching workshop perimeter. Over.
Remember, orders are to take her alive. Monarch Actual's en route.
Roger.
Stop right there. Where's the girl?
Hey, hold on. Take it easy. What seems to be the problem, guys?
On your knees. He's got a gun! Open fire! What the fuck was that? Shoot it!
Don't give up.
Doo-doo.
HQ? We've got a situation.
Yeah, no
What's the
kidding.
sit rep?
He got backup. I don't know what he is.
Orders are to keep the mission quiet. Tight.
Alright, they wouldn't know
We
about
can't
this yet. I
afford
forgot
unwanted
about that.
attention.
He's fucking tearing us apart.
I'm on my way. Hold the perimeter.
Personal space. Oh, that's cool.
I'm out!
HQ, man down. Man down.
No.
Doo-doo.
Oh my god! Gotta reload! Suppressing! Keep shooting!
I love how the Monarch threat here is so much weaker than it has been in other parts of the game. It makes perfect sense, right?
Light him up!
And there's a sniper up top.
Target crosshairs.
Cool. Now I'm out of ammo.
I'm empty! Suppressing fire! See that? Friendly under fire!
Everything's fine, nothing is ruined. Everybody? Anybody else?
Dodge this!
Thanks for the heads up.
Yeah, I was gonna say, thanks for the heads up. Exactly.
Shit, I'm out! Huh? Everybody move!
Gotta move.
Suppressing fire!
Time to move.
Hello.
Get out of my way.
Here we are again. Exactly where we left off years ago.
Ah, shit. What are you doing, little finger? Oh shit, that was
Give me the
abrupt.
device. Come with me.
It's a giant D12.
We can survive this together. You know it can't be stopped. I can see it in your eyes.
Episodes
You
are
know
about 30
this.
minutes long, right? Ish.
What if you're wrong?
Oh shit. No, that thing's probably somewhat fragile. Oh, it's like a Ghostbusters trap. Alright, well we can go over by a little bit to watch the whole TV episode, and I'll just cut it out of the next session. The effect should be fine.
We failed. We created Ground Zero. Caused everything to happen how it always did. Every piece falling into place.
Except one. The blast sent you through time. Brought you back to 2016. The same exact time from which you left. Something anchored you there.
Where did it send everybody
We need
else?
to know how you did this.
You
End
think
of
I
time
wanted
to
to come
fight
back?
again?
I was pulled away. Everything I came for was still back there. Left behind.
No, Beth. 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 Come on, move. Beth, get up. Beth, come on, get up. Please, Beth. Beth, you need to move, okay? Yeah, that's it. Get the gun. Come on, Beth, move. Come on, please. Beth, move! Paul, don't do it. Don't do it, don't!
I'm not wrong.
You can't.
No! No!
Serene had the countermeasure the whole time. I had to get it back.
A rash decision. You claim Beth Wilder's death had no impact on your behavior, but...
Like I said, I barely knew her.
So, what you did next? It wasn't personal?
No.
Looks like the TV episodes are about 22 minutes, so that should be perfect, I think, depending on how long it takes to make Littlefinger's decisions here. Continue. That pretty much sucks, though. That's a huge bummer.
I don't have much time left. I know.
Paul's an asshole.
I spent 17 years working it out, planning it, building Monarch, because I knew what was coming, and I knew it couldn't be stopped. But what I've built has been turned against me.
I think it's pretty good. I'll type it in chat, Cal.
Saving them if I can't trust them. I'm slipping away into pain and rage. The sickness is accelerating. The CFR. It has cost me so much. But I have harnessed its power. And with it, my plan will work. With it, I will keep the lights on when the world goes dark.
Mr. Serene? Sorry to disturb you, sir, but I have that cleanup report on Dr. Kim's lab you wanted.
Meet me in my office, soldier. I'll be there when I've sealed the CFR chamber.
Was that the timing? Was it because of the Xbox One?
My treatments.
I thought part of it was overhyped. They're like, oh man, look at this crazy cast, and it's a TV show, and then doesn't fully deliver on what it promised. Like, I went into playing this with no context at all. I've never heard of it, never seen any advertisements for it, so I've just been enjoying it. And I imagine if I was like getting all hyped up about it, I might have been disappointed.
I'll be right there. Serene out.
Yeah, hear that, bro.
This soldier doesn't know how close to the end I am. I'm not afraid of death. I'm afraid of becoming the enemy. What that would mean for me, for the plan. I can feel it infesting my thoughts. I don't know who to trust anymore. Sophia Amaral. She wanted to activate the lifeboat before it was ready. She wants to sabotage my operation. Who knows what she's told Jack? Who knows how long she's been...
Sir?
Be right with you, son. I spent years living in the past, living in the safety of knowing what happens next. Years of planning, building. It's all come to this.
That's pretty cool. Note effects, I don't want to rush through this section, and I also don't want to go more than like 5 or 10 minutes over. So would you mind if I called it a little early and then just tack the extra time onto your next subblock? And we'll watch the entire episode and then play from there. So I think I want to read all of these timeline elements, for example. This seems pretty important to the game's plot. Let's see, let's start getting... Exit the time machine. I wish I had an easier way to see all of this, because this is really cool. Keep it silent. Start low-level investments. Sell industrial. Dow Jones Peaks record. Williams time machine. He has this in a room where anybody can see it. Prepare for .com bubble. Tech thing. Find the Traveler. Woman from End of Time, still not identified, must be found. Threat to our plan. El Salvador roundwork. Time Warner sale. Buy America Online. .com bubble peaks. He has to effectively have infinite money just within like a year, right? If he has perfect knowledge of the future. Because he has to double his money a couple times first, but you could probably start by doing some sports gambling and get seed money. Bush elected December 12th. Pair of Republican connections. Have good share of military industrial complex. It's funny. 9/11. Improve relations with private military companies. Real estate sales done. Warned Stevenson. Oh. Interesting. Yeah. Send letters to senators to prepare for Homeland Security Act. Oh, send letters to senators and then prepare for Homeland Security Act. Sell World Trade Center real estate. Oof. 25% funding for survival plan. Buy out all sources. Make JPL investments. Invest in Iraq oil. Establish relations with the Facebook team. Meet on mystery woman found. Spotted near Joyce's workshop. Double security around the workshop. They put a ton of effort into this. Oh, buy MATLAB. Alright. March 19th, Iraq. Start PMC operations. I guess he needs to do the PMC anyway, because he needs to have all these disposable soldiers. Get involved with JPL. One of Andrea's colleagues from grad school works at JPL now. I guess he has a cameo in that Behind the Curve documentary on Netflix. Still have to watch it. Heard it's pretty good. Lifeboat planning session. 5 years in. Stay strong. One path. Facebook. Be sure to get a good amount of shares. Okay. Bush re-elected. 10 presidential gala. Send emergency aid to Thailand. Be visible. Facebook. Bush again, question mark. I wish I could zoom in more. I'm trying to see what's crossed off at the top there. Katrina, August 29th. YouTube launch, acquire stocks, launch PR campaign. Exciting. I wonder if, like, part of his plan is unsustainable because he has a limited knowledge of the future, right? Does he become useless once they get to the date of him traveling back in time? Men's Chronon tech development. Don't sell before 2013. Twitter. Remember PR. Tweet. Basically, yeah, he's like, instead of Biff being a moron, what if Biff was a super smart scientist guy? The interesting part, though, is that, like, I'm not clear on the way the time loop works, because it seems like Littlefinger came from a past where Monarch didn't exist. He came from a different offshoot of reality, but I believe Beth said that in her childhood she saw her future self, right? So she seems to suggest that she's always been on the same world line. Maybe Littlefinger is special that he exists on multiple world lines or something. Don't think too hard about it. Okay. I think it's one of those, it's not rule of cool, but it's like rule of drama. It's dramatic. If Beth always remembered future her encountering her. Monarch was always around. Oh, I see. Swine flu epidemic. So I guess we haven't learned if he had a similar, like, youth run-in with his future self that set all this up that he's always known about in his entire time loop. Probably. Non-tech alpha completion, 2 years behind, no solution. Meyers-Joyce surveillance intel. Yeah, LitFX, I said I'm just going to finish reading this timeline. I think we're going to call it early, and then next session, if you don't mind, we'll do the episode. Plus whatever time's left over after reading this. I didn't want to rush through this section just to get to the episode. The earthquake. WikiLeaks. No risk to Monarch. Mystery Woman threat neutralized 2010, right? Yeah. Occupy Wall Street, Japan tsunami. It's really interesting to me what the game developers chose to put on this board, too. They all make sense. Curiosity launch. Holy shit, was that? Wow. Like, I met Andrea in August of 2010, so it's like a BCAD thing for me. I'm like, oh, I have a visceral memory of that happening, and like going to a talk from one of the guys on Curiosity who explained how they did it. It's because anything that's like before the Andrea line is all blurry and yeah. I know, right? Because there's very little on it that's specific to this this setting. This is just like a literal timeline. You can make, I think the stuff that's timeline specific is generally on those post-it notes that you could shop out. But this is a lot of effort for something that you could just like completely walk past and not enjoy at all. And I think that's just kind of true of this game in general. BSC. Exactly. Oh yeah, that Nepal quake happened just like a year after we visited. 2015 is when I started streaming. Time sickness research must be accelerated. PR opportunity for Nepal is massive. Use the same approach as with Haiti. Mission frame completed. Fracture begins. University heist. This game came out in 2016? Okay. It did. Recurring vision. William dies. His death is inevitable. Prepare for this. Voice is getting louder. Vision's increasing. Treatment no longer alleviates symptoms. Doubling dose. How would I use that to maximize stream success? That's a really interesting question. I wouldn't have invested so much time into trying to be first with Bravely Second. But what would I have done differently? Probably get on some games that were about to blow up. But, like, the problem is, I don't know if my future knowledge would be terribly useful because I don't really want a bunch of, you know, elementary school kids as the basis of the Twitch community. I want, like, a small community of mature adults or almost adults. So, like, what game can you pick that gets you that? End of Time in 2021. 17 subjective years after EOT. Okay, no way to solve the fracture is what we're saying. Got it. That's cool. Alright, that's a good stopping point. That gives us 10 extra minutes next time for the episode. So, future Marstead, if you're watching this, you don't have to read that. You already read it. It's cool. Just progress through this section featuring Littlefinger and then watch the TV episode and make sure you give Littlefax extra 10 minutes on the clock. Cool, and then the last game today is 2 hours of Owl Boy. I'll be back in a minute as I get switched back to the PC. See you soon.